Xenoblade Chronicles on the Wii is definitely one of my favorite games of all time, as you might already know if you've seen my likes and dislikes on it. It's an amazing game, and when they announced that it was getting enhanced port to the Switch, I definitely was hyped. It finally got a port to the console so that I can actually make the world look a lot better, and again, I was looking forward to it. And well, after playing it, I could see why I loved it back in the mid-2010s, and it sure held up for the most part, and take that most part to halt because I think some aspects could have been improved on from the original version. And let me say, I don't think the game is terrible. As I mentioned, I still love it. It's just that again, with this being a full remaster and it being the definitive edition, I felt like, some aspects could have just been improved on the Wii. And let me also say, I do understand Monolith Soft was really busy helping develop Breath of the Wild 2 and also making that new IP or whatever. It's just that, this video is just me thinking about some aspects about the game that could have been improved on if they had the time and resources to. I will also be showing general endgame footage from the base game, along with showing some Futures Connected gameplay and just talking about the game in general. So I'll probably be mentioning some spoilers, but if you really do care about that stuff, just click out the video. But one of the first things I kind of wish was improved was some of the characters. For example, Charlotte, Ryan, Ricky, and Dunban, I felt could have had some extra moments to help them develop the characters. And let's start off with Charlotte, because she kind of stops getting moments after the Ether Mines, and that was a really early all. I feel if someone like Gato was there a lot more often and interacted with her in the group in the Megon form, I felt it could have made her resolve to help Shulk stop the situation of harms during the Megon a lot stronger. Of course, that would have kind of changed the ending, but again, I do think it would have been an interesting, plot to go into, because she also is a medic, so I thought again that could have also helped that aspect of her character. Moving on to Dunban, and while he does have a nice moment with Shulk when trying to figure out whether to kill Mumko or not, he doesn't really have much else. Maybe if, say, he had moments about having his ability to fight after losing his arm in the Monado and seeing Shulk excel with it, I thought that could have helped. Along with that, maybe if Mumko was there in his hybrid Megon human form and consistently beat Dunban a lot more often, I felt maybe that could have also helped. Adding on to that, Ryan I felt could have had something similar where maybe he has doubts that he can't actually protect Shulk since he wasn't able to help save Fiora back in Calling 9, and then seeing Shulk help out the party so often, maybe that could have helped Ryan's character. Now moving on to Ricky, and I'm going to be honest, I don't really know what could have been improved for him. Not that he was a great character in the main story, it's just that he doesn't really have much of his character I could think that would help his character. At most, maybe he could have some doubts about whether he has a place in the main group, because when they needed him to go kill Telethia, he was kind of just there, and I felt it was more Melia's thing than his thing, because he was just in debt, which gets cleared out instantly because he killed it, and then he just joins them because the main leader just tells him to go with them and stuff like that, and that kind of just sucks to me. And while it's not a bad thing to be a comic relief character, it's just that I felt that he could have at least had some more impactful moments. I also did wish that we had some more moments with the harms that turn to Megon, like Gato, Mumko, and Sword. Sword I thought would have been pretty cool since he pretty much is just a minor villain, and I thought since he was another member of Colony 9, at least from the side quest that his daughter's involved in, would have been pretty cool to see hey, why does his face Megon remember harms and whatnot, and maybe it could have helped lead into, hey, harms are being turned into face Megon and stuff like that. At least it would have been more interesting to add onto his character and maybe have him return as a normal harms eventually. I have no idea. But with Mumko and Gato, I kind of already explained, so I'm not really going to go over them again. And another aspect I think could have been slightly improved on is the side quests, since a lot of them I'll just kill this enemy numerous times for a unique monster or just collect an item. Of course, that's not all of them, but there's still definitely quite a bit of them, and when I played through the Definitive Edition, I definitely saw a lot more than I remembered. And honestly, at most, I do kind of wish that they just removed some of them and add some ones with some kind of nice stories, and that would have been far better, at least to me. I also did wish they actually added some new moves for the main party, since I felt some of them could have been slightly more fleshed out. I'm going to go start up with Charlotte because I still think she's pretty clunky, and maybe having a little bit more physical arts would have been a little bit better. I also do wish her talent art got a little bit changed, since it kind of sucks and it doesn't really benefit her at any point. Maybe if she had an effect where the higher the temperature is for her gun, maybe the arts could have had a shorter cooldown. I also did wish Shulk got some new skills, but I don't think that would have been as likely since he does have, a lot of Monado arts. think if he did get one, it could have been, say, another debuff skill where maybe it lowered the ether defense of an enemy, and another one could have been where he deals poison damage, because I feel those ones at least fit his skill set. Similar to Shulk, I feel Ricky could have used some other debuffs and maybe another elemental attack, one of which I felt he could have gotten old skill, which could have caused slow or something else. I also do think Ryan could have used some extra ones, especially better defensive ult, since the ones he has in game isn't the greatest, at least to me. He mostly is an offensive character, since stuff like God Chef and Engage I never really found all that useful, since Ryan can gain aggro much easier from Engage, and then, you know, his defensive ults, like again, God Chef just doesn't really do all that much, at least for me. And the next ones, I'm gonna pretty much take from my likes and dislikes video, mostly the dislikes, and I kinda wish the game was made slightly harder in the normal mode. And if you're like 5 levels lower than the boss, you should be fine for the most part. And I feel if they just rearrange the boss skills by giving them more buffs and debuffs, or just slightly different strategies, I feel that would have been a lot better. And while I know the game does have a challenge mode by letting you lower your level and stockpile EXP, I still think the normal difficulty could at least again been changed a little bit, because I do kind of feel like I'm on autopilot for the most part. I also do wish some of the bosses didn't get cut short or get stopped by a cutscene just to go back to the fight. And while this one isn't anything major, it's just again a slight annoyance that I wish got changed. I also do kind of wish the game was slightly less grind heavy in the affinity between your party members and the area affinities. It's still really annoying because I would do a whole bunch of side quests and I would only end up at like level 3 and say something like Colony 9, and I know I would just have to grind a lot more for that, but just again really annoying. And this pretty much applies to the party affinity, because I would, you know, use some members a lot and it feels like it barely went anywhere. And I have used gifts every once in a while, but even then it still feels like it takes forever. And for the advanced art books, while they're all slightly better to get in this version, because I do believe you can get them from the Nopon in the new mode they added, but again, it still can be pretty grindy. I kinda do wish they just added an option to buy them in normal shops. And honestly, I still do think the game is fantastic, and even the new additions they added, like the quest path where you can find your objective a lot easier, a remix soundtrack, and just the really beautiful graphics. It's still a fantastic game even with what they didn't do. And again, the video was just here to talk about what stuff Monolith Soft could have added if they had enough time and manpower too. But I really want to know what you guys liked about this and what you guys would have liked to see if they actually could. Let me know in the comments below. And thank you all for watching, and see you guys later, and don't forget to subscribe and follow my Twitter, which is in the description below.